Hey,
Hey, how are you?
how oh my gosh. What a day, what a day.
What
It's
is
good.
it? What is it?
I'm dark. I'm dark. How are you?
I am awesome. Hey, Tanisha, thanks for joining.
Come on in, everybody. Hey, Tanisha.
Let's make sure you share, like and share, like
Like and
and
share, like and share.
share. Yeah. So it's
So
just
how,
I,
what?
I need to double check. I was like, let me make sure we don't have anybody to do that. No, we don't. Um,
You were doing what?
I was just double checking that it was just me and you today.
Oh yeah. Well, it's so much going on. I feel like I haven't seen you in a long time.
I
And
know.
I know that you had a wonderful show last week. You had a very exciting guest.
We did have an exciting guest.
Hmm.
He was, to say the least, informative in some aspects, and then um yeah, like yeah, some things it just makes you kind of like okay, I really need to do a little bit more research about people and things and religions and the thought processes of people. Just when you think that you kind of have it down, then somebody comes along and throws a whole loop, a whole
To let you know that you don't have it done.
right, right. Right,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
monkey wrench in your thought process. How about that?
Right. She said he was something special. Who's the co-host?
Huh? Tanisha.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Let me see here. Edit. So, what else has been going on with you? Anything
So actually, so the wedding was last weekend. It was amazing. Uh,
good?
yes, it was amazing, and just at this point now, well, it just seems like I celebrated my anniversary yesterday, so 25 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then next is like Asia's birthday, and I'm trying. I'm sorry,
When is her birthday?
the 14th.
Oh, October.
Mhm.
Oh, wow. So,
Yeah.
is it a surprise, or are you doing something real big, or what?
I'm hopefully she won't be on here, so maybe I'll just wait and tell you like
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Tell me later.
after, because maybe you might can help me, like maybe like get to find, yeah, because yeah, okay.
That sounds fun. That sounds really
Yes.
fun.
Thank you, Tanisha.
So ours was what, 2 weeks ago, or last week, or something like that.
Your anniversary, the
Yeah.
21st.
Oh, yeah. So it's almost
So it's like
ago.
maybe like a week and a half ago or 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think tomorrow will be 2 weeks. Been
Okay.
interesting 2 weeks. We went out of town to the mountains. We're in the mountains for exactly probably 24 hours until we got up there and realized that we weren't exactly welcomed in that part of the mountains. Um, we went to Lexington, Virginia, and
Okay.
I'm a big person who I normally pick up on when things are off, but I guess because we were tired, we drove up there and checked into the hotel. The lady at the check-in counter, she was kind of really dismissive. But I just, I ignore people at Hardee's and at McDonald's. Those nasty people. I just say they hate their job. So I
Right.
just, she was evil. She hated her job. So we kind of dismissed it. But later on that night, we went to Applebee's, walked into Applebee's, and people were looking at us like we were from Mars. So I was like, what is going on? And then it was totally, I didn't really see any of us up in the
Right.
restaurant. So Justin, Justin's Mr. Google. So he starts to Googling Lexington, Virginia. It turns out that Lexington, Virginia has a population of 85% Caucasian, 8% Black and Hispanic.
Oh,
So, oh, Jesus. So then he was like, you see all those signs coming up, the political signs
right.
that, they didn't say Biden and all that kind of stuff. They said, the
Right.
other
Right.
candidates. So I was like, oh, jeez. So we just got there. He was just talking. I called my mom and told her. She said, yeah, you know that? I was like, no, I didn't. I had no clue because we went to go to the caverns. And then
Right.
we got up that morning. We were like, well, we're going to try to see how it is. And we'll just go out of the area to eat because I'm real funny. I don't, I,
Right.
what
Right.
they do in kitchens. Yeah. So we got up that morning, and then he had some issues going on with his SUV. So I was like, maybe that's God just saying we need to go home. So we came back the next day, and And then we did things around Virginia that because in my spirit, I kept saying that I really don't want to go anyway. Because originally we were supposed to go to Vegas, but then I got scared because of COVID.
Right.
So I was really never sold on going to the mountains. It was just like a afterthought or a second plan.
Right.
But when we got back, we had fun. We went bowling. We went to the Adventure Park in Virginia Beach. Have you been?
Okay. No, on General Booth?
Yeah, when you swing from the trees and you walk.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
That was amazing. That was a big coaching experience for myself.
Okay.
I had fun. It was really good. It was really good.
Welcome, Michelle. Hey, Kim. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Happy belated birthday, Kim. I hope you had a happy birthday. I know it was probably like a week ago. Was it like a week ago?
29th. Last week. It was last week.
Okay. Yeah. So yes, thank you all for joining. Make sure you share and like. But other than that, the wedding, it was good. I mean, everything was good. My week has been good. Walter and I, we didn't do much. He was like, "Are you sure?" He just kept asking me, "Are you sure you don't want to go anywhere? Are you sure?" And my favorite place, like that's where we were intending on going. I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go." And then we had breakfast, and I was like, I'm still full, so I don't think that we were gonna go. And I missed out on going to my favorite place. But anyway, so we ended up just later on that night we ordered food and went and got it. And we were content. I was content with that. Like the first time, and I don't know how many years I have not gone to my favorite place, but I will. I'll make it up though. I'm definitely gonna make it up.
So he says, "Will, you're not the mountain type." Well, our goal was to go to Massanutten, which is where we went last year, and then I wanted the zip line, and then we were going to the caverns, and we bought tickets to go to the drive-through zoo, the Virginia Zoo. And we had to use those tickets. We bought all that stuff before we went up there, the tickets for everything. So we had to use that because they wouldn't give us a refund. The hotel refunded us for the two extra nights, but they said we have 12 months to use the tickets to the zoo. So we're going to figure out how we're going to play it. Maybe after the election,
maybe. But I mean, maybe wherever that is not as, controversial as the other areas in which I've visited.
I think 8 or 10 miles away from the hotel. I just was oblivious to there were areas where there weren't really a lot of Black people.
Wow.
Still.
Wow.
I don't know why. And I don't know why it really hit me.
Going up to Richmond, we always see this flag, this Confederate flag that kind of sits up to the side of the road in somebody's backyard. Like we always see it. And I think that not too long ago, they had it on the news. They were talking about that Confederate flag that was going up when they were trying to ban the statues and all this kind of stuff. But the zoo is kind of up in. So, what'd you say, 8 to 10 miles away from Massanutten or
The zoo is in Natural Bridge.
Okay. Well, I want to go there because I see people who go, and I'm like, I want to go.
The tickets were I think our tickets were $75 for both, and it takes 3 hours to drive through, or was it 2 hours? 2 hours to drive through, and then there's a part you can get out and actually walk. And you can pay, I think $5 extra we paid so that we could feed the animals through the bucket with our bucket. Shaking your head, no?
I need to stay inside the vehicle.
Yeah.
Because I don't want nothing running and jumping up on me or Yeah.
But you know what? On our way home, that opened up a good conversation between Justin and I about, I don't know if you and I have had this conversation about people being associated or friends or having family members that have different beliefs than us. That whether it's political party affiliation or whether it is religion or anything, how do you handle that? Because that's relevant right now because CeCe Winans. I'm going into our first topic. CeCe Winans, she is under fire because she is in a video that is, I think, by the Human Services, something. It's an ad campaign that's going to come out the night before election, basically. And it is with a whole bunch of artists or celebrities like Garth Brooks, basically supporting how Trump has handled his administration's handled the COVID-19. So she released a statement. Black Twitter was eating her up because just last election, Chrisette Michele, she performed, and we ain't heard from Chrisette Michele since.
And you know what? It's funny, like, because right after that, she basically, like, it was some months, and I think I had read an article where she said she kind of went into a state of depression.
We talked about it.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. And then Tina Campbell from Mary, where's she been? Eric is getting all the hype right now.
Right.
So Cece did this, and Black Twitter's been eating her up. The Black community, especially the church, has been saying, how can she do this? Because he's talked so much about the Black community and downplayed the seriousness of COVID-19. And she actually had released a statement. Where is it at? So she said she was asked a couple of weeks ago to do an interview with the Surgeon General, Jerome Adams, about the coronavirus. And she said that this interview stresses how important it is for everyone to wear a mask. And it also gives us other instructions on how to get on the other side of this pandemic. She said it was not political at all. We've lost so many lives because of COVID-19. Let's all do everything we can so we won't lose anymore. Now, do you think cancel culture, because we get mad, we start writing people off, like we did with Chrisette Michele, like we did with Tina. Do you think she's going to get some backlash? Not like she was really, Beyonce.
Well, whatever chances that she may have, because I just don't. I often wonder who's behind Black Twitter. I think we talked about that too. Talked about that before too. It's like, because Black Twitter is harsh. Those people, whoever those people are, they are
together. Exactly.
They are very harsh.
Do you think this was a bad move for her? And then the second part is that, how do you handle, like, could you marry somebody who had a different political affiliation with you or a different religion than you? How do you handle that? Justin, he was just like, he would write people off. It went back to the wedding when people didn't show up because of their beliefs to our wedding. Justin meant what he said. He don't deal with those people no more. He said, I will be pissed for a while, but I will eventually.
Because okay, so this is the thing. First and foremost, let's just understand that everybody is entitled to what it is that they believe in.
Right.
Okay? And my thing is, when you start getting into religion, I think that's, religion, really, okay, like I was Methodist, my husband was Baptist. I don't really necessarily know that that's a really major difference between the two. Like some things, but it's not major enough to be like, we can't, I don't mind going to the Baptist church. You didn't mind coming to a Methodist church, but once you start getting into other ones, I don't know, the major difference between them. Also, I can't really speak on that. Religion, I think that can be, I think you could work with that. As far as like political, how do you say,
affiliation?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they could get a little tricky, because I just think that right now in the climate that we're in, there's just a lot of things that I just don't, I don't agree with, that somebody else may agree with, and then it just becomes a hostile thing. And again, everybody's entitled to their own thoughts, their own feelings about different things. And as far as like Justin writing people off, because to me that means that you will always there's nothing that you would never disagree with, and you will still participate in it whether you agree with it or not. And we just know, and I know that that's just not true. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, in order for you to say that, you have to say, like, it doesn't matter whether I like it or not. If I'm invited to something and it doesn't matter whether I like it or not, I'm going anyway because I got an invitation to go, or I'm going to do this no matter what because this is somebody asked me to come. Like, I don't know. I just don't think that you can't just disregard what people's thoughts are.
But disregard, okay, Michelle, she said that she has a friend who loves, in Mississippi, who loves Trump. She's very sweet. We just stay clear of talking about politics. That's a good point. She says she tries to respect others' beliefs as long as they don't attack me. Now, don't know if I'll talk to you about this as well, but in my salon, we have a Trump supporter in my salon, and very often, which I don't feel like politics should be talked about in the salon, but with everything on the TV, you know, we have TVs in the shop, everything comes on. She's very vocal about her support about Trump.
Does she support him? Does she support his ideas? Does she support what is it that she supports?
Administration. And like clients are looking, I guess, because everybody expects that if you're Black, you're anti-Trump. And when she's saying that, they're like asking us, the stylists, is she like a supporter? And we're just like, I don't know. But it's obvious that she is from the things that she says, that she thinks he's doing a good job, let him do his job. And she hasn't really directly spoken against President Obama, but she's made some comparisons, basically saying that he's doing a better job than Obama.
Based on what? Do you believe?
Again, I try to stay clear. I'm probably going to have to talk to the staff that we don't need to talk about that in the shop. It's never gotten to the point where it's been bad, but it's gotten to the point where it's been debating back and forth. But I just don't think it's good energy to have in the shop.
It's not good energy. And again, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like this. It's like some things need to be brought to the forefront so that I can know how to better deal with you. You know
but that's my point. So is she wrong because that's who she supports or whatever reason?
No, because you have the right to support whoever you want to support, whatever whatever affiliation you want to have or whatever, based on whatever it is that you feel. But you have the right to do whatever. You have the right to do whatever. But for me and mine, and I don't know, because and then it's like, is it the Republican Party or is it the Democratic Party? You know what I'm saying? Because some people are just Republicans, and then it's just like, it doesn't matter who is in office. It's like, I'm a Republican and I will vote Republican. It doesn't matter whether the person is doing a good job, not doing a good job. I'm a Republican and I will always vote Republican. And that's just kind of what it is.
So Michelle, with this point, that's a good point. She's messing with my money. Why is her belief because of my affiliation with her? Because we're cool as people. I totally don't agree with her politics, but as people, we're fine as long as we don't, get into the political.
I think you probably should shut it down before somebody does get offended, and because people don't. Unfortunately, people don't. They look at you probably as the business owner and are like, why aren't you saying anything? Like, why is she working here? Why do you have her here? Why,
Because of her, because she pays her booth rent.
Right.
That's the main.
Her political affiliation has nothing to do with you getting your coins.
Right.
Point blank period.
Right.
But I feel like some things, like, we learned that in school. It's like children, politics, and church, religion. About the three things you don't talk about in the salon. Right.
Exactly. And play music, we tried that, but one wanted to listen to trap music, other person want to listen to gospel. I would prefer to listen to like R&B, jazz type music, and the other one.
At the end of the day, you are the head, you are not the tail, and you control that. When you're there, you control the. I just feel like now if it's just you and your client, or if it's just that person who likes to trap music or whoever, if it's that person and her client, and they listen to the trap because the client, because I have some clients like that I could listen to, some trap music, and then I have some that want, that don't mind listening to gospel the whole time. And then, it just depends on who's in there. But right. I just think that they should know that when you walk in the door, that there's going to be jazz playing.
Yeah. Well, I've been told since I've been back in the salon, I've been told by like clients there that the atmosphere is so much more peaceful now that I'm back. And I'm like, well, what the hell was going on when I wasn't here? I would hear things from different stylists, but you can't really tell who's telling the truth.
Right.
When I started hearing from clients, I was like, oh man, I'm glad I'm back. So yeah, it'll be I don't want to come in and be like a tyrant, just change everything. But I'm just watching and seeing what needs to be.
No, but you have to set the tone. because sometimes
Yeah.
you just have to, because it will begin to get out of control,
Yeah.
and then you have to kind of like bring in the, just rein it back in, and let people know, like, okay, sometimes it's not that you got to put yourself up, like, I'm like, I don't like that, like, this my salon, y'all not go, type of situation, because I don't think it have to go down like that. But I do think that, exactly, Kim, I do think that you have to set the tone
Yeah.
to what, how everybody's going to conduct themselves. And I don't, everybody knows politics, kids, and religion is not what you discuss in the salon.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think probably talk about all of it. So, so we're gonna be revisiting. I'm back in the salon. I'm loving it now. I think what I needed was those 4 months away to get reinvigorated with the business, and I'm like, everything is like up and up for right now. I'm happy with it. So, what do you want to talk about? What's yours?
So, actually, I want to move into. It was very interesting. I had read an article today about Mariah Carey, and basically, she was saying that she's high maintenance, and she was saying that she's high maintenance because she deserves to be, because of her childhood poverty, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, and I think my question to you is, do you think that your family's finances when you were growing up dictates how you are now? Like, are you high maintenance, or are you humbled a little bit?
Not at all. Not at all.
Not at all.
My parents raised me well, and I live well, and that's why I work as hard as I want to do. They set, like you said, they set the tone for all my aspirations, because I want to live on the level they raised me at or above. I think they absolutely did, and I think that's a part of parenting, for you to give because my mom always said this thing that my grandmother used to tell her, that each generation should build upon the one before it.
Mm-hmm.
So my mother and them did better than my grandparents, and my goal is so that I can do better than my parents, so that we can build this generation. What we were talking about, you were saying, what generational wealth. I think we had a conversation about building that. So yeah, I think my parenting let me know that I don't want the bottom. I'm always aiming for the top. That's what it is. Thank you, Kim. And Kim, she can attest. Yeah, my mom, even though they worked a million jobs to give it to us, like growing up, I didn't even know we were poor. I didn't know that we were so. I mean, and my friends thought that we were the Cosbys. I didn't know until we got older that they were working their tails off,
right,
to give us the life that they wanted us to want to strive for as adults, and they did just that. I don't settle for less.
Well, I mean, okay, so when growing up, so from like birth till about 10, like it was okay. Like I never felt like, we were struggling. I never felt that. We were like the first family on our street to have cable. Like my dad had a really nice, Cadillac. My mom had a car. Like, we were kind of nice. Then when my father passed away and we moved to be with my grandmother, we lived with my grandmother for a while, and then my mom got her place, and then we moved into a neighborhood where there was only maybe like one other Black family.
Mm-hmm.
And even though we were there now, and like people on the outside looking in was like, oh, y'all live out there, like, so they thought that we, but we still had difficult times.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that from those difficult times, I struggled a little bit as an adult with money, understanding money. And then but I always knew that like everybody, you get to college, and there, the credit card people are like right there, and you end up with like a 30% credit card, APR. And I quickly learned, like, this is not where it's at, quickly. So I knew that having a good credit score was important. But I kind of had to learn that on my own. Good credit score was important. Paying your bills was important, and just not to be accumulating a lot of things. And I was never really with some things, I have money to buy the things that I want, but I wasn't like an over spender. Like I didn't need to have the finest bag or the best tennis shoes, or like I've never owned a pair of Jordans. Like I've never like.
We had that conversation too. Remember, like a couple of weeks ago when you were saying that you could do much more, but you don't feel the need. And then you had a client who kind of set you back by, asking questions about that beautiful home you have and stuff like that. So you really live well below your means, because you could floss every day if you wanted to.
yes. And I don't know. I don't know if it's, I think I do associate some of it with mine, because I just feel like even though I have it and I know I have it, in my mind, I was just like, I don't want to be without it. And it's silly, because I think sometimes I do myself a disservice because I don't spend money on things, because I'm like, okay, so once I get it, then what? Like, then what? So I'm getting things that I really like. I want, like, it's usually stuff for like the podcast and like, or Asia.
Yeah.
And that one right there, she's gonna do things some other didn't do. Like, but yeah, I think it humbled me, but sometimes I think that I don't spend enough on myself at all. Sometimes I don't.
Now that's good, Michelle. It boils down to parents teaching kids about money management. And I will have to attest that that's something that we didn't get growing up as far as money management. And my mom, we've had this conversation really when I had that mini breakdown about this job I just retired from or resigned from. When she opened up to me and talked about her issues with working hard and trying to prove herself to other people. And, she confided, that she didn't really get really serious about her finances until her late 40s.
Same.
So, I was in high school. So when they were working and giving, I had a brand new sports car on my 16th birthday. I had a $1,000 class ring that was in the yearbook, featured, custom made. So when they were giving me all this stuff, she was doing this without managing money well. She was working hard. And it was basically, I had to deal with image. It was about image for me, what people thought, how people saw me.
Right.
And that was baggage that I had to unpack later in life. So I agree with you, Michelle. I think one of the duties as a good parent is also teaching about money management. But like Maya Angelou said, when you know better, you do better.
Right.
I think they've done a lot of practicing with the 3 kids, but they're on point with the grandkids now.
Right.
So,
right. I think even for my mom, like sometimes, like when I give her things or help her, she's always like, you don't have to do that. Like, I think that she thinks that I'm like I don't have it. Like I shouldn't give her stuff. Like, I don't know what she thinks sometimes. And I'm like, Ma, it's fine. I'm not, this, what I'm spending, I'm not going to be broke when, after I give this to you or whatever. But I guess, sometimes it just may be the mindset. But anyway, so yeah. So yeah, that's just a little awesome, because yeah, even in also with Mariah Carey, the last guy that she just was in a relationship with, she ended up suing him.
Yeah.
For $50 million for an inconvenience fee.
She settled for that. Didn't they settle?
They settled, but not exactly for what she asked for.
Yeah, and she got to keep the ring too, though.
Yes, the $10 million ring. So my question to you is, do you think that if people were able to sue people for wasting my damn time, for wasting somebody's time, do you think that would make people do right, talk right, be right, say what you want? And, do you think, because I feel like this, you pay a convenience fee is to use your credit card. You pay a deposit if you want to make an appointment somewhere. Some people charge. So why not be charged an inconvenience fee if you sit up here wasting people's damn time?
I think I would not be surprised if it goes towards that, because I never thought that, the mother, like in custody cases, the mother was always, if they went to court, it was always expected that, the mother, she's going to win, whatever. But I've seen cases when it has been totally different. I've seen situations where the woman is paying the husband spousal support.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it leads towards, being able to sue somebody because you're wasting my damn time. Yeah. And if I can go back a couple years, I might sue some people. Yeah. What can I get for 16 years, sir? Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Mhm.
So Michelle says people trip off the material things. If we all had saved more, we could be debt free. Right. We just need
We just need
to
help younger kids.
kids get it. I'm sorry. I'm like it's like a glare. Um
That's true. That's true.
yeah.
So Mariah Carey, evidently, she's been this. Is this coming from the book that she released?
Actually, the funny thing about it is that they said people were saying she didn't get really good reviews on the book because she didn't really even mention that she didn't mention anything about him, or this $50 million thing that she sued him over.
Oh wow! Well, I know because I had a topic for Mariah Carey as well. So she was stating about her marriage to Nick Cannon, and she says that really when the birth of their twins, I think what is it, Moroccan or something, the two babies, she said that was basically the end of their relationship because she said it was hard for her to balance being a mother and then for both of them to manage their image as being entertainers. So she said that it took a heavy toll on their marriage, and the marriage ended as quickly as it began. So I wanted to ask all of you, what do you think is the biggest or the hardest obstacle in sustaining a relationship or a marriage? And how do you get over it? We've talked about something similar to this. Mine is maintaining your identity. I always get lost in the other person, which always works out to my detriment. So that's my biggest obstacle in relationships. It's going over into marriage is how do you maintain your identity and still build a tight relationship? It seems like I have a strong difficulty in being able to have that balance between my relationship and myself. They always get entertainment, and I can't work my way out.
But I think that I think sometimes that's just going to happen. I think sometimes that who you are is going to become intertwined with who you are in the marriage, because that's still going to carry over. Because like I say right now, like sometimes I feel like I am not. Sometimes I feel like I'm not the same. Like sometimes I feel like have I conformed? So this is kind of, it probably is going to sound contradicting, but like have I conformed to be who this person is and then put my true self on the back burner because I have to set this identity for the lifestyle of this person. So I.e. my husband. So
being the wife.
Right, his wife, Master Chief's wife. We go into these events. I have to conduct myself accordingly. Everybody's like Miss Bell. Everybody's like ma'am. I'm like Shanika. Like don't call me that. Like, but because of his status, that's what it has to be. And I'm just like, but I'm really not this stick in the mud, and I'm sitting over here at the table, not with I would rather be over there with everybody else having a funky good time, but I have to sit over here at the table and conduct myself all professional, like and be the people watcher. I don't want to be that girl. I want to be on the floor.
Yeah.
But I can't because it's a certain persona that I have to.
Yeah.
But when I had the opportunity to just be myself, it's just like I often still wonder that even at 25 years of marriage, am I still my true self? Am I my true self? Like I often wonder.
Well, let me tell you that since I have known you, you have become more and more of a different person. And I think I'm seeing more and more of the real Shanika. Yeah. I've seen that growth and I've seen that development. Yeah.
Well, good. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Because I'm just trying to just be more authentic. I think because I just like the things that I feel in marriages, the things that I feel in relationships. I think that if people were more open, that not afraid to be more open, I think that you would see that. I mean, of course, I think you do need to know who you're dealing with, but I just think that at being married at 25 years old and at 47 years, getting ready to be 47 years old, I have to be me. Like, I don't know how to be anybody else. Like, and everything that I say is not going to be politically correct. Everything that I do is not going to be politically correct. And it just is what it is at this point. Like, I don't want to have any regrets that I couldn't say what I wanted to say because of how you may take it. Like, we grown at this point, and 25 years says that I can say what the hell I want to say.
You've earned that.
Yes. And at 47, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I feel that way. So yeah. Michelle says kids are brutal to intimacy. And then she also says each person needs a long time to recharge as well as getaways as a couple. Childcare is an issue though. You know, I used to say that in the beginning that, you know, like I noticed like when, like if Walter and I went out to eat and then Asia would go, like everything would be, we would be talking to her. Like everything would be surrounded by her. But then if she didn't go, it would be, we would sit at the table for a while before we actually talk to each other. And I used to think like, is she holding us? Is she the glue to this?
She's the focus.
Say it again.
I think she was the focus. A lot of people say, you know, like when the kids move out of the house, that's when they have that empty nest syndrome, because your whole life, once you have kids, from what I understand, everything is centered around those kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So
you know, once they're gone, you have to relearn each other all over again.
Right. Right. And that's, you know, and that's to me is like the really, it's like you're in a relationship, like you count all these years. Like I feel like 18 years of my marriage, and you know, from birth to 18, or when Asia actually left to go to college, like I almost feel like I can't even count that as my marriage. You know, because I feel like those years almost to me were dedicated to taking care of this child. So I just feel like, you know, like the marriage almost became secondary, and the child rearing was first, and it just kind of like, and then the marriage just kind of like fit in where it could. So, you know, it's just, you just have to find balance. You just, you know, and then like you said,
that's the key. Exactly.
Yeah. And like, you know, like you said, you know, you really are, when the child is not here and you don't have anybody, you know, like they're bringing their problems or their concerns to the table or whatever. You're just looking at this other person like, okay, I don't have, you know, it's like I can't yell out Asia or come upstairs and see what she's doing, or, you know, it's like, oh, I have no other choice but to talk to you. So what you do today? You know, like, you know, whatever. So
but that's true. The date night. And that's one thing Justin and I we've discussed, because his schedule has gotten really hectic because of the social work program, and now he's doing the internship, working 2 jobs, and then now I have a lot more control over my schedule, and with the salon. So I don't know if you saw, I posted a picture with a friend that I had met at the previous job, and we went out and had dinner this past Saturday, and it was good. Now he crossed my mind saying, you know, I wish he was here, blah 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 blah. But after I just allowed myself to become present at the table with her, I had a good time, and I didn't feel guilty, because normally I would feel guilty because he wasn't there. But I was just like, okay, this is me doing me, and it felt good.
Right. And I think you have to. I mean, I have learned, and that's one thing that I have learned along the way. And my mom told me that. Now, I could be quite honest. My mom told me that in the beginning, because in the beginning when I got married, I would be like, well, you know, I want to go, I want to do things, and he didn't necessarily want to go. Which, you know, he was not really want to be out and about with it. He liked being at home. That's fine. And she was like, well, you go. If you don't, I mean, if you want to go, then you go. And you know, either he gonna end up wanting to go or he'll stay home. But either way, don't settle for what you're normally used to doing because of, you know, that situation. And so, you know, and eventually, you know, he would be like, okay, yeah, I want to go, I'll go with you or whatever. But my mom told me that early, like 6 months into when I moved, like that was her advice. Like you still need to go. Like if you want to go out, you don't, you know. So I just, you know, you have to. You can't feel guilty, and you can't stop being who you are and doing the things that you like to do because your partner is working, or your partner may not be, you know, they're more content at home and they don't have a problem with you going out or whatever. So, and I mean, I'm more of the goer than Walter is. Walter is content, you know, and there's sometimes where I'm like, no, like when he says, are you going to ride with me? Then I'm like, okay, he wants me to ride with him. Like, I'll, you know, if he asks me, then I'm like, okay, he wants me to go with him. So
that's a way of asking.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
But,
so
okay. All right. Well, your turn, or is it my turn? It's your turn.
oh, well, we kind of went back with the Mariah Carey situation.
Yeah.
Uh,
She had a
yeah,
lot. She had a lot going on this week.
yes, yes. So, let's talk about Dr. Dre a little bit and his wife Nicole, and he won um the court, so they denied her all of this money.
The 1.5 for her new security because she didn't want the security that he was paying for. She fired all that, so she wanted $1.5 million for new security.
Yes, yes. It says TMZ reports that the judge also ruled that the NWA rap star will not have to respond to Young's fast track demand to he pays for her $5 million.
Legal fees, lawyer fees, right?
Yes, yes. So I was like, huh? She had already fired a security team Jay had employed and was paying for. She claimed he was too controlling over the staff, and she wanted to choose her own employee.
Mm-hmm. I think
Girl.
the judge did say that he would allow her to hire a team that had the same fee that he was paying for them. Because I think this 1.5 is in excess of what he was paying the previous.
Okay.
So he was there. I guess the judge was lenient enough to say that if you could find security team that's the same amount as he was paying, he would approve that. But he totally denied that 1.5, which I thought was outrageous.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm just still trying to figure out like why, like what are you doing? Like why do you? I mean, like come on, monthly. Like
Because she already want the $2 million a month. This is not even including that.
right,
But
right.
yeah, so this is above that. So yeah, then I heard that she had withdrawn what 300. She withdrew a whole bunch. She wrote a check to herself and withdrew money out of one of the accounts because she's still on the board for the company. And that
Oh,
was yeah. So I'm like, oh, she's doing a lot.
she is.
Yeah.
She is. Yeah, because she's seeking what 19,000. No, I'm sorry, 1 million. Girl, 1,936,399 in monthly spousal support.
Mhm.
What in the hell?
Yeah. Yeah, he worth almost $1 billion, 800 something
Yeah,
million.
800. It says 800. He's worth
Yeah.
800 million. Wait a minute. What is that? Well, I just saw it. I don't know where it is.
I think it's 800.
800 million. Dre is
Yeah.
worth an estimated 800 million.
Yeah. So
Well,
he's worth almost $1 billion. It ain't like he don't have it, but I guess she said, if I'm going to go, I'm going to get my good portion of it. I don't know. Hey.
I mean, I guess, honey.
Yeah. 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 You know, Chrissy Teigen and John Legend lost their third baby. Wow, I woke up to that last week and I was like, oh,
Yeah, I think it was like the weekend. And that she had, I think with the second, no, maybe the first baby, she had kind of had postpartum.
mm-hmm.
She was suffering postpartum. So I just really hope that this doesn't really take a toll on her. But it's very we always seem to think that when a couple loses a baby, we all the first, obviously the first thoughts go to the mother, and we really never think about the father. And I'm really just wondering how he's taking it and how he's, is his feelings about it as deep as hers.
Well, I did my little research. So the baby's name, evidently the baby was born. The baby must have passed after birth, is what I'm thinking. Because the baby's name was going to be Jack,
Mm-hmm.
named after John. And she said, 2-hour Jack. This is what she posted on Instagram. I'm so sorry that the first few moments of your life were met with so many complications that we couldn't give you the home you needed to survive. We always love you, she writes in the heartbreaking caption. We're so grateful for the life we have, for our wonderful babies, Luna and Miles, for all the amazing things that we've been able to experience. But every day can't be full of sunshine. On this darkest of days, we will grieve, we will cry our eyes out, but we will hug and love each other harder and get through it. That's what she said. So my question to all of you is, what's the hardest thing that you've ever had to get through? And how did you get through it?
Oh, oh. The hardest thing that I've ever
Right, I'm glad Michelle's up here. For me, it was when that doctor walked in the office and told me that my kidneys were failing and I was going on dialysis. Because I heard him in my ears, I heard him say, "You're gonna die." Because that's all I knew. Everybody that went on the machine, which is what country folks call the dialysis machine, they died, and that's what I thought. And that was like getting through that. And I'm glad Michelle, because she was the social worker at the clinic that I went to, the dialysis clinic. Um, I'm glad she was there. I'm glad my nurse was there because they helped me mentally get through that situation. Because I was playing in my funeral. That's what I thought. So those, what was it, 6 years of being on dialysis every day. That was the hardest thing I've ever had to get through, and nothing but God got me through it. Yeah.
I really think that for me, it was having a baby and having it, being pregnant, having a baby, and how was I going to love her? Because
Mm,
I think that I had a very watered down idea of what love was, a very warped idea of love. On the things, people saying that they love one another, but then their actions were totally different from what was coming out of their mouth.
mm,
And and when I became pregnant, I was just like, I don't know. I don't even know if I know how to love. Like, I don't know how to love. I don't know. There was things that I did or was not really familiar with, and love was one of them. Having fun was another one, because I didn't have the opportunity, I think, for those things to manifest fully in my life. So
mm.
I struggle with those things. So I just didn't know. I didn't know if I was going to be a good mother. I didn't know if I was going to love this child. I didn't know what my relationship was going to be with her. But that was like the hardest thing. And then when I seen her face, like all that went away. But but you still struggle with like being even a good parent. Like you don't want to be, that parent, you
Yeah.
know, but on either end of that spectrum, you just don't want to be, the too lenient parent or the too strict parent. You just need to have a child that's like even keel and like, okay, I did a good thing. And when I look at her now, like, and to be honest, what I really knew that I needed to do was I needed to give her back to God. I had to like, God, she is your child first and my child second. Like, I cannot do this without, I just can't. I just cannot, for anything that she may come to me for, I just can't do it by myself, you know. And I think that when I look at her, she's like everything. Like, she's everything that I needed a child to be.
From the outside looking in, looked like you did a really good job.
Thank you.
A really good.
That's my husband ain't checking and be like, so you just forgot you got a whole husband.
Yeah. Yeah. So Kim, you said your last marriage was the hardest. How did you get through that? I'm trying to count. Let me see. Okay. So how did you get through it? I didn't know that it was hard. I guess I should have known as being your older brother, but I didn't know that would be, the hardest thing that you've been through. How did you get through it? And then Michelle, she said the military lifestyle with small kids and one with autism was tough. How did you get through it? How did you find the strength? Did you build a support system? Was it about that? Was it prayer? What was your tactic for getting through that moment?
Yeah, and even with, I know people, as Michelle is saying, like, I know people who have children who are who are special needs children, or who need different services. And the military, it seems like it's a little bit of a struggle sometimes to get services for when you're military. Like, am I right or wrong? Because I've heard a couple of people whose children needed services, and it was just kind of like a task trying to get them the things that they needed or whatever. But so that's kind of concerning to me. Um but yeah, I think marriages are just becoming different now. I think that people are having different ideas about marriage. Um, uh, and what marriage means. I think that before it's all over, there's going to be a lot of polyamorous marriages situations.
Well, that was one of my topics.
Can we save that for next week? Because we're right at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, we're gonna save that to next week. We're gonna save it to next week. But yeah. But one thing I will say, when I was going through dialysis and crying and afraid of what the future held, I did not realize that was a part of God's plan for my life. Looking back on that, I did the most growing, the most maturing as a person. My faith in God grew so much stronger. So I would definitely not want to go back to that. But if people ask me what part would I want to write out of my life, that wouldn't be it. Because I think that God definitely sent that into my life for me to grow.
Right.
And he did exactly that.
And I didn't even know, like when I met you, I didn't even know that you were having, you were going through that. Like,
oh yeah. A lot of my clients didn't know. But you know what? I had to open up to a client because my client told me, why do you always look so mean? Or why don't you smile? And I told her that most days the smile that she saw, it took every bit of ounce of strength that I had because I was hurting. I was carrying fluid around in my stomach. Sometimes I was in pain from the site. I know there was one time I had an infection. So whatever little smile that they could see, it took every ounce of me to pull that out for them. So I had a couple of people know what was going on, but most of my clientele didn't know that I was on dialysis.
right.
I did it every night while I slept.
Right.
So I went to work and I just faked my way through it most of the time. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know did I tell you at all?
No, I no. When we first met, and because I was going through a whole bunch of different transitions at that time too, and then it was just a lot during that time. It was just funny. It was just funny, like how we just kind of came together and just
Purpose. Yeah, purpose.
So
yeah.
Well, all right.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank y'all for participating.
Yes, that was good. Thank you all so much. And definitely make sure you all tune in next Monday at 7 o'clock. We were just a little bit late today, but we will try not to be late next Monday. So just make sure you tune in, share, and continue to support us. And we only have maybe, 3 more Mondays?
The last show is actually the first Tuesday in November.
So what? Right? So 4 more Mondays?
Yeah, 4 more Mondays. That's it.
Yes.
For a while, but as you can see, the studio is in the other room, and for some reason that camera is not working. Again, it would have been another thing of me just talking. So
I need to see. Okay.
Over here in the office, but I'm gonna go over there now and see what's going on. I don't know what I did, but I'll have my background next week.
Okay. All right. Y'all have a great rest of your week, and we will see you all back here on Monday, 7 o'clock.
All right.
Week. All right, Will.
See you later.
All right. Bye-bye.